Om Shri GURUBHYO NAMAHA. Come friends, let us study our Upanishad today, Vedic chanting, common sense thought, also our Mangalacharana Shloka, Upanishad Mantrocharanam, and Adhyayana with Bhashyam, Shwethashwathara Upanishad, 4th chapter, the great 7th mantra. We have to do it. So, as ever, let us start with our Rigveda Parayanam. Om Athaveda Parayanam Rigvedah Saptamamandalम् Atha Shadashititama Mantradharabhya 86 onwards. Let us do three mantras. Om Dhiratvasya Mahina Janom Shiviyastastambharodasi Chidurvi Pranakam Rushvam Nunude Bruhantan Dvita Nakshatram Papratacha Bhuma. Udasvaya tanva samvadetat kadanvantarvarune bhuvani kimme havyamahrunano jushet kadamrulikam sumana abhikhyam pruchetadeno varuna didrukshupo emi chikitusho viprucham Samanaminme kavayaschidahurayam hatubhyam varuno prunite kimaga asavarunajyeshtam yat stotaram jigam sasisakhayam pratanme vocho dulabhasvatavova tvanena namasa purayam avadrugdhani pitrya sujano vaya vayanchakruma tanubhi Avarajan Pashutrupam Natayum Srujavatsanadam no Vasishtam. Om 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 Nasasvodaksho Varunadruti Sasura Manyur Vibhidako Achittihi Astijjayan Kaniyasa Upare Swapnascha Nedanrudasya Prayotha अरन्धासोनमीडुशेखराण्यहं देवाय भूर्नये नागाः अचेतयदचितो देवो अर्यो गृत्सं राये कवितरो जुनाति अयं सुतुभ्यं वरुणस्वधावो हृदि स्तोमौपश्रितश्चिदस्तु शन्नक्षेमेशमुयोगेनो अस्तु यूयं पात स्वस्तिभिः सदा नः Om Namo Narayanaaya Om Namo Narayanaya. Narayana Hari. Narayana Hari. Yes, join. Start हो गया. Narayana Hari. Narayana. रदत्पथो वरुणः सूर्याय प्रार्णांसि समुद्रिया नदीनां सर्गो न सृष्टो पर्वतीर्ऋतायञ्चकार महीरवनीरहभ्यः आत्मा ते वातो रज आनवीनोत् पशुर्नभूर्निरव्यवसेत् ससवान् अन्तर्मही बृहति रोदसी मे विश्वा ते धाम वरुणप्रियाणे परिस्पशो वरुणस्य स्मदिष्टा उभे पश्यन्ति रोदसी सुमेके ऋतावानः कवयो यज्ञधीराः प्रचेतसो य इषयन्त मन्म उवाच मे वरुणो मेधिरायत्रिः सप्त नामाज्ञा बिभर्ति विद्वान् पदस्य गुह्यान वोचद्युगाय विप्र उपराय शिक्षन् तिस्रोऽद्यावो निहिता अन्तरस्मिन् तिस्रो भूमि उपराः षड्विधानाः गृत्सो राजा वरुणश्चक्र एतं दिवि प्रेङ्खं हिरण्ययं शुभेकम् अवसिन्धुं वरुणोद्यौरिवस्ताद्रप्सो न श्वेतो मृगस्तु विश्वान् गम्भीरशंसो रजसो विमानः सुपारक्षत्र सतो अस्य राजा यो मृडयाति चक्षुक्रे चकृषे चिदागो वयं स्याम वरुणे अनागाः अनुप्रतान्यदितेर्रुदन्तो यूयं पात स्वस्तिभिः सदा नः 88th one प्रसुन्ध्युवं वरुणाय प्रेष्ठां मतिं वसिष्ठमीडुषे भरस्व य ईमर्वाञ्चङ्करते यजत्रं सहस्रामघं वृषणं बृहन्तम् अधान्वस्य सन्दृशं जगन्वानग्नेरनीकं वरुणस्य मंसि स्वर्यदश्मन्नधिपा उ अन्धो विमा वपुर्दृशये निनीयात् आयद्रुहावरुणश्च नावं यत्समुद्रमीरयापमध्यम् अधियदपां स्नुभिश्चरावप्रप्रेङ्ख ईङ्कयावहै शुभेकम् वसिष्ठं हवरुणोऽन्याव्या दादृशीं चकारस्वपामहोभिः स्तोतारं विप्रसुदिनत्वे अह्नां यान्नुद्यावस्ततनन्यादुषासः क्वत्यानि नौ सख्या बभूवुः स चावहे यदवृकं पुराचित् बृहन्तं मानं वरुणस्वधावः सहस्रद्वारं जगमागृहन्ते य आपिर्नित्यो वरुणप्रियः सन्त्वामागांसि कृणवत्सखाते मात ईनः स्वन्तो यक्षिन्भुजे मयन्धिष्मा विप्रहस्तुवते वरोथम् ध्रुवासु त्वासु क्षितिषु क्षियन्तो व्यस्मत्पाशं वरुणो मुमोचत् अवोवन्वाना अदितेरुपस्तात् यूयं पात स्वस्तिभिः सदा नः ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. Enough three of the mantras. Great. Yes, friends, in today's common sense thought, our discussion will be on what? देखो, the whole human life's evolution, beautification, success, achievements, enjoyments, liberations, every one of them for you and I, human being, depend only on one aspect, which we should never neglect. That aspect is called as understanding. That aspect is called as jnanam. That aspect is called as knowledge. All depends on knowledge. Every evolution, every success, every achievement, every happiness, all jnana adhinam eva. And all the losses, all problems, etc. are ajnana adhinam eva. Therefore, first and foremost, a human being for himself to achieve anything, to do anything, to evolve to any level, whether it is in the worldly or whether it is in the adhyatmika, the Mula mantra, Mula Sutra is Jnana Prapti only. Remember that point. And then that Jnanam should be what? First, that Jnanam should be authentic. Pramana Janya Jnanam it is called as. Pramana Janya Jnanam. So first is Jnanam. Second is Pramana Janita Jnanam, authentic knowledge. They can be Shastras, they can be the Anubhava Yukta Purusha in front. Both are same. The Anubhava alone has put in the form of the Shastra, and the Shastra and Swayam Anubhava, the Anubhavajna who tells us. Okay? So one is Jnanam, second is Pramana Janita or authentic Jnanam. Third one is Samshaya Rahita Jnanam. The doubt free the knowledge should be. Because if there is any state of doubt, then we will not wholeheartedly implementing that jnana. Therefore, it should be samshaya rahita jnana. Third one. Fourth one, it should be very important samagra jnana. It should be not again half-hearted or half of it. It should be complete jnana. Samagra jnana. Complete it should be. Then the fifth one is what key? That is the what do you call experimental knowledge. Means knowledge which is being experimented. Because without experimenting, what is the use of that knowledge? So, prayogatmaka jnanam. So, jnanam, pramana-janita jnanam, samshaya-rahita jnanam, samagra jnanam, then prayogatmaka jnanam. So, knowledge, authentic knowledge, doubtless knowledge, complete knowledge, experimental knowledge, practical knowledge. Then the last and the beautiful one, sixth is anubhava jnanam or anubhava, the experience. Anything you take, okay, all the worldly things, anyway, you know them. In Adhyatmikata only, we have to discuss, we will discuss because that's our field. Like in the Adhyatmikata, it is through the again Shastras as we are trying Upanishads that Upanishad becomes the authority. Upanishad studied, experienced gurus become authority. Through them only we get this Jnanam, the first step. About something new which is unseeable, but that is the reality. And through that only all are coming, going, and achieving that alone is ultimate achievement. This is the jnanam. And this is the authentic jnanam because the rishis have said, the Upanishads have said. But has it become ours? What is the point? Are we going to those classes, satsangas, and getting that jnanam? And that is authentic anyway because Shastras. But the third aspect we have to work on it. Samshaya Rahita should be our jnana. It is by our choice only. That Samshaya Atmakata of the jnanam can be removed by the Shraddha. That is very innate. I have to have Shraddha. I will try to have Shraddha. I am trying to have Shraddha. Now I have the Shraddha. In this way, one has to develop the Shraddha to replace the Samshaya. Okay, then through one's own Bauddhika Vicharana also, many samshayas go away. And by asking the same authority, the Guru, and getting replies from him also, the samshayas about the jnanam go away. Nishchayas of the jnanam happen. The doubts go, the convictions start happening. Acceptances will happen, svikruti. Then it should be samagra jnanam. No incompleteness in them. samagrata in that jnana. This is what takes a lot of time. The samagrata of this, the adhyatmika tattva jnana. In adhyatmikata, the samagratva of the jnanam includes so many things. Not one, not two, many, many. First, the swarupa of that vastu. Then the sambandha of that vastu with this jagat. Then why that vastu is satya. Then that vastu's obtainment as is the one which gives us purnata. Then why right now that vastu, though always there, is not anubhavagamya. So all these prashnas, samshayas have to be cleared. Every one of them. That takes lot of time. The samagrata of the jnana. Samshayarahita samagna pramanajanya jnana. So the Brahma Tattva Swarupa Vicharana. Then Brahma Tattva Shakti called as Maya. It is inexplicable. When you see the Jagat, we have to accept it is there. But in Brahman, it should not be because Brahman is Ekameva Advayam. Then that Shakti, it's three gunas. See how each of these aspects have to become Samagra in us, the Avagahana. Then what is said in Siddhanta, observe in the world. Then bring the picture of I, the Jiva, my own Antakarana, how it is functioning. ये सारा मिलकर समग्र ज्ञान होता है. All Upanishads, Shruti Smriti Granthas exhaustively talk about this only which we catch when we are with Shraddha tuned with them. When there is no tuning and there is no Shraddha, then these Vishayas don't click to us. Like you read a novel without Shraddha. The book is completed, but you are not aware of any of the characters, the story, the beauty of that story, and the author is intelligence and what he wanted to convey with it. ये सारे चीजें बिना हम जो ऊपर ऊपर से चले जाते. Without Shraddha, if you read a novel or an editor's editorial in any newspaper, just browse through it. You know, it's one way of saying. But who is that editor? How many years of experience he has got? How many thousands of editorials he has given? How much knowledge he has got? What are his otherwise backgrounds and maturities and experiences, sincerities, honesties, and how he is presenting that particular article that day, observing the nation. You know, thousands read it, lakhs read it, so they should not be misguided. The correct information should be given. At the same time, the himself, his own editorialship should be protected. Then right of information to the people is to be fulfilled. Then it should not cause harm to the nation. How many things you'll have to keep in mind and jot down every of the word and sentence of that editor. It's not an easy thing to write an editorial, just like it is so tough to talk on any subject, especially when it is spiritual. It's impossible. It is so tough unless the Guru's Ishvara Kripa is there. Even one word will not come. So when you study that editorial, all that. In the same way, any TV channel you choose, you see it. It cannot be just like that you browse through. Which is that channel to which party or thing it is loyal, and how they are interpreting, twisting, cutting, editing. देखो इतना सारा. Unless we have full Shraddha, you don't understand. In the same way, when the Shraddha is there in the knowledge, in the desire to have the knowledge, then Samagrata will come. So the Paramatma is Maya Shakti. With that, the Jagat Srishti Sthiti Laya is happening. One of the Srashta really created. One of the things that is created is I, the Jiva, and all my upadhis are created. And into that upadhis, that Paramatma entered, identified with the upadhis, he became Jiva, and that is me. Now, all this jnanam has to have, we have to have. Then only it is called Samakrata. Then identified with these upadhis, how I am getting bound in the outer world. Among all of that, the most funniest thing is the behavior of this antakarana, the mana. You know, it's a sankalpas, it's vikalpas, its own rajyam, which we technically call as manorajyam. Is there anything other than the manorajyam? Like in Swapna, it's a manorajyam. In the Jagrada Avastha also, even though we contact the things sthula, yet can it be possible, meaningful, without the manovrittis? Therefore, everything is manorajyam only. Like when I sit for my meditation or japa, so people come, things come, emotions come, expectations, disappointments. How many ways the mind is changing? We are seated for meditation or to do japa, but other than that, how many thoughts are coming? How many of emotions? How many of reactions? No, is it not the entire thing manorajya only? Is there any reality there? In the happenings, there is no reality, but in the result of it, in the form of getting emotions, angers, there is reality. Like I am sitting for meditation, I remember my enemy and the loss he has created for me, and I become angry. So the anger is experienced, pain is experienced, whereas that particular incident is not there now. It's only Manorajya, or even the loving thing. Your children came, you really enjoyed with them, they went away. Now we are sitting for meditation, that whole scene you remembered. And you have tears in the eyes. And देखने वालों को लगता है यार क्या मेडिटेशन कर रहा है बाबा, इनकी आंखों में पानी आ रहा है. He doesn't know that we are crying for this remembrance of the children coming from the other planet, isn't it? बट ये कहाँ है वो, हुआ क्या वो नहीं ना, बड़ो मनोराज्य ही है. Whole thing is manorajya only. That's the whole problem. That is has to be quietened. With that quietened mind from where the whole manorajya is removed, then we focus on the tattva. Then we realize it. All this is called samagrata in jnana. Then other upadhis of sharira, indriya, their functioning, their demands, we our slavery to them, सब कुछ ज्ञानम ही है. Everything, how it is functioning, what for it is functioning, what it has to function for, ये सारा हमको ना ज्ञान को बढ़ाते ही जाना पड़ेगा, बढ़ाते. और ये ज्ञान not once, plenty times when it is collected, then only it remains in us and it becomes our memory. Then only it can be utilized. Otherwise, how can I use when the jnana has not become mine? So the samagrata of the jnana is taking a lot of time. Little we have, but not complete of every aspect. We are all struggling for that, isn't it? And remember, the another aspect of jnanam is what, as we now just said, for having the samagrata of the jnanam, we have to have the jnanam. That the jnana will be samagra when we fully involve with shraddha, with bhakti, with ichha, with ekagrata, by seeing, by giving the samaya, single pointedly. ये भी ज्ञानम है. मतलब मुझे ज्ञान पाने के लिए मुझे श्रद्धा भक्ति एकाग्रता से वो ज्ञान पाने के जो मीन्स है फॉलो करना है, ये भी ज्ञान है. Isn't it? Even that also is knowledge only. That's a part of total knowledge. I have to have the jnanam, that I must have the Guru Bhakti, Guru Tattva Bhakti, Guru Parampara Bhakti. Samagrata, because that Guru Anugraha Kripa Vina, the things will not be revealed to us, which are mentioned in the Shastra. Impossible. Every Guru puts in his writings that Shakti, that whoever are Shraddhalu Bhakta, to them only the intended, the deeper meanings are revealed. Not for an outlooker, Ashraddhavan. तो फिर when I have Shraddha to Puja Gurudev, his writings I will be deeply understanding. When I have Shraddha for the Upanishad Rishis, then only what he is writing I understand. That's why we every day do pranams to them. So this is also Jnanam. Then Daiva, Upasana Avashyakata. Because it is the whole world run by that Ishvara. He only sends the Guru. He only comes as Guru. So if we don't have this Jnanam of need of worshipping him, isn't it? Then we will not do, That's also Samagrata, part of Samagrata in Adhyatmika Jnana. In the other side, the most important on which we neglect, the Upadhis, the limitation, how they have to be used, how they become our liability. Who is responsible for that? If my Sharira is liability to me, that it is obstructing me in my sadhana, who is the Karana? Me only, no? I have to have that Jnana. If my Indriyas and Mana are suffering and giving me suffering and becoming obstruction, who is the Karana? I have to have that Jnanam. In some cases, the Samashti Prarabdha is the Karanam. That I must know, that also Jnanam. Then how to negotiate or how to go through or how to have patience for it to go away. ये भी एक ज्ञानम है. So just with one or two little informations having, we can't call ourselves as Adhyatmik. समग्र ज्ञान चाहिए. Jnanam is important. Nirantar. Many aspects we have not touched only. The jnanam regarding the karmas, the karma phalas, and the karmas are punya, karmas papa. Isn't it? ये सारा ज्ञान हमेशा दिल में रहता हुआ, every moment calculatively we have to live. Then only we avoid falling down into the samsara and we evolve in the sadhana. ये हो गया समग्र ज्ञान की बात, सिद्धांत. But the fifth one was very important. What was that? Prayogatmaka jnanam. If the gained jnanam is not utilized, like if I have gained the jnanam, that my manorajya is the hetu for the vikshepa of the chitta, therefore I am not able to obtain the ekagrata to do the dhyanam. Then this manorajya is because of my not being aware. This manorajya is because such a volatile, such a sensitive mind through the indriyas, I am exposing to such a terrible things which inevitably enter into my mind, disturb it and create that manorajya. One, from my own side, I have to be conscious not to entertain manorajya. Second, the mana should not be leaked through the faculties into the unwanted channels of the world. If this jnanam is gained and if it is not implemented, therefore, by being very careful regarding that, then that phalita will not be there, no, of reduction of the manoraj. Then all our attempts of adhyatmikata will be utter failure only because this is the first thing. Without the nischalata of the mana, ekagrata of the mana, shuddhata of the mana, how it gets the sukshmata? Without mana being sukshma, how the sukshma understandings, anubhutis come? Practicality we are talking about. Prayogatmaka jnana. Then only the last but not the least, the anubhavam will come to us. Anubhava jnanam or jnana anubhava. We have to focus on all these things only. So the jnanam, pramana janita jnanam, samshaya rahita jnanam, samagra jnanam, prayogatmaka jnanam, anubhavika jnanam. Only in the anubhava that we get the benefit of it. Isn't it? Because for the anubhava only we are working. दुख अनुभव से हमें सुख अनुभव चाहिए, अशांति अनुभव से हमें शांति अनुभव चाहिए, भयानुभव से we need to have the निर्भयत्व अनुभव. Isn't it? So that अनुभव is the final our goal. And that also I am aware. उसका भी हमें ज्ञान है. Now I know, I have realized the self and I am in the bliss of it. From that authority only, those anubhava yukta jnanis are able to write books, are able to guide or teach the next generation. So all therefore is jnana adharita. And when the jnana prayatna we don't do, be attentive, then the absence of jnanam is called ajnanam, and from the ajnanam, what comes out is brahma. Then the entire jivana will be brahmayukta. And in the brahmayukta jivana, it is like shooting the arrows in darkness. अंधेरे में तीर मारना. और कभी लगता है, कभी नहीं लगता है. और हमेशा it will be uncertain only. In that Brahma Yukta Jivana Shaili, like every day, sometimes we are happy, sometimes we are miserable. Why? Because our experiments are based on the Brahma, not the authentic knowledge. Even with authentic knowledge, when we do the things outer, sometimes we may succeed, sometimes we may fail, but that's because of the other reasons. That the other competitors are there, they are also working, the totality has to have its own way to move. ये सब मिलकर पराजय जय का वो डिसाइड होता है बाहर. But at least we have the pramana janita jnana. In the absence of that, we'll be only living life in Brahma only. Like a friend. Is that friend well thought of, authentically decided? And with the friend, the interactions also are well thought of? Then it is pramana janita. Then exactly you consciously meet that friend, initiate the topic, discuss or anything to be done or any place to go, all of that will be fruitful and beautiful. If out of some Bhranti imagination you consider that fellow as friend, then you become, what do you call, under him, he is dominating and authority, and you have submissive to him, then whatever that person decides, you start doing, then that's all nonsense. Then you will never have freedom. These are all Brahma se hota hai. So Brahma Yukta Jivana or Jnana Yukta Jivana. And Jnana is Pramana Janita, Samshaya Rahita, Samagra, Prayatna Purvaka or Prayoga Purvaka and Anubhavika Jnana. Whether it is Adhyatmika ka ho, whether it is Vyavaharik ka ho. So therefore, struggle to gain the knowledge. Study the books, listen to the great masters, have 4 or 5 of those great people in your life, request them, spend time with them, ask them, they will tell, and everywhere with that humbleness, receive it, think about it. Without these prayatnams, how can the jnana come to us? How can the ajnana will go away? How our jivana can be jnana adharita? And without jnana adharita, how can there be vijaya and ananda in jivana? How can there be success? How can there be happiness? And all this also is again is jnanam. The jnanam about jnanam is also an important jnanam. That the jnanam that we are living life under ajnanam also is a jnanam which we have to have. So jnanadeva tu kaivalyam. Rute jnanat namukti. Atma jnana vihinaha mudaha. Everywhere it is said. So therefore, please let us study the Dharma Shastras and develop our Dharma Sambandhi Jnanam. Bhakti Shastras and develop Bhakti Sambandhi Jnanam. The Yoga Shastras and develop the Yoga Sambandhi Jnanam. Then the study of Tattva Shastras and develop Tattva Sambandhi Jnanam. And in all of them, these are all Siddhanta Jnana, then the Sadhana Jnana, then the qualification, preparation Jnana. And all of the Jnana will be waste if we are not doing the prayoga, upayoga, nirantara. Our life should be in this way dedicated for this. Think about it. Thank you. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. 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 Om Sahana Vavadu Sahano Vunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. ओं नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। ओं यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्य प्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। ओं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। निधये सर्वविद्यानां विषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। भव एव भवानिति मे नितरां समजायत चेतसि कौतुकिता मम वारय मोहमहाजलधिं भव शङ्करदेशिकमे शरणम्। ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्त ब्रह्मविद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। संकल्पः तेषां कृपया उपनिषदुक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधेन मुक्तिप्राप्ति सनातन धर्मस्य विश्वव्याप्ति विश्वाध्यात्मिक प्रगति सनातन धर्म संस्थापकानां निरंतर दिग्विजयार्थमनेक शास्त्राणाम् अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्न मध्ये कृष्णे यजुर्वेदीय श्वेताश्वतरोपनिषदः अद्य शंकर भाष्य समेत अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्न मोक्षार्थमयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। ओम नित्यानंदं निराधारं निखिलाधारम् अव्ययं निगमाद्यगतं नित्यं नीलकंठं नमाम्यहम्। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। अथ चतुर्थोऽध्यायः पारायणम् 11, 12, 13 3 मन्त्रास्। ओम यो योनिं योनिमधितिष्ठत्येकः यस्मिन्निदं संच विचैति सर्वं तमीशानं वरदं देवमीड्यं निचायेमां शान्तिमत्यन्तमेति। यो देवानां प्रभवश्चोद्भवश्च विश्वाधिपो रुद्रो महर्षिः हिरण्यगर्भं पश्यत जायमानं स नो बुद्ध्या शुभया संयुनक्तु। यो देवानाम् अधिपः यस्मिन् लोकाः अधिश्रिताः य ईशे अस्य द्विपदः चतुष्पदः कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम। Dear friends, chant this mantra 6th and 7th. ओम द्वा सुपर्णा सयुजा सखाया समानं वृक्षं परिषस्व जाते तयोः अन्यः पिप्पलं स्वादु अत्ति अनश्नन् अन्यो अभिचाकशीति। Seventh one. समाने वृक्षे पुरुषो निमग्नः अनीशया शोचति मुह्यमानः जुष्टं यदा पश्यति अन्यम् ईशम् अस्य महिमानम् इति पीतशोकः. See, that is the Vedic way of talking about the truth of those days. Though the times have changed, the truth remains the same, the knowledge remains the same. We have to decode that knowledge which is in a code form given in those Vedas or Upanishads, which was direct and obvious to the students of those days because they were so sharp, so subtle, and so tuned only to that. Today, our capacities of our intellect have become dull-witted and they have become so worldly and their orientation has totally changed. Therefore, it takes extra struggle for us to decode and discover the sublime meanings that are given in these Upanishadic mantras. Knowing that only, the Lord appeared in the form of Bhashyakara and he has given us Bhashya. Even the Bhashya also, for those days, for those people, it was obvious. Even from the Bhashyakara, we have traveled around 1700 years of time. So for us also, the gurus of today required those who have struggled themselves to understand Bhashya and do sadhana, reach out the goal. They have to implement, explain to us about what exactly is said by every Shabda of the Bhashya, and through that, every Shabda of the mantra by that Rishi, by the Shruti Mata. And how it is related to us eternally, related to all of us, to help us out, to come out of our own miseries, which we technically call as bandhana. दुख रूपी बंधन से मुक्त होने के लिए हमेशा के लिए उपयोग वाला ये ज्ञान जो श्रुतियों में दिया है, उसका अर्थ का आविष्कार भाष्यकार और गुरुजनों के अनुग्रह से हम कर सकते हैं. That's what we are struggling here. Correct? Now again, with every of the information gained, it has to be translated into knowledge. And unless what is the practical aspect that is there to be practiced or implemented is known and we do it, the result of it, benefit of it will not come. So, तो हाथ जल गया, बरनॉल लगाओ तो ठीक होगा या घी लगाओ. If you know this, it won't help. You have to buy it, put it, then only. Here also. Right? Now this sacred, complete second mantra, let us enjoy, attentively study. The literal meaning we have said 2 days. With Bhashya we started studying. Half of it we saw, or 1/3 of it. Samane vrukshe purusho nimagnaha anishaya shochati muhyamanaha. This is how the entire samsara. What is the sadhana solution? Justam yada pashyati anyam isham asya mahimanam iti. This is the whole sadhana. What is the result? Vita shoka bhavati. तो शोकग्रस्तः कारणास, विशोकः sadhanas. So the karanas for the shoka we have seen are nimagnaha vrukshe, then muhyamanaha, then anisha. है ना? समाने वृक्षे निमग्नः मुह्यमानः अनीशया शोचति. So first is nimagnaha, identified with the sthula sharira. Second, muhyamana is not wanting to think otherwise. Third is anisha, becoming totally slave to it. The outcome is shochati. And all our purushartha samarthya, we are misusing, abusing in this way for nimagnata, for moha, for anishatva, and therefore for shok. All our purushartha samarthya, we are that way misusing. We are called Purusha. We have got Purushartha Samarthya. And then what way, what for the Purushartha Samarthya has to be used so that we are out of that misery? The second line. Jushtam yada pashyati anyam isham asya mahimanam iti. First we have to discover something other than the deha, the upadhi, the adhisthana of it. And know that it is the Isha. And know that it is me. And they know that in the presence of me, the whole universe is playing the play. Asya Mahimana. Then I am the presence in whose presence all are happening. I am not involved in them. Therefore, I am not tossed up and down. Therefore, there is no dukkha to me. That's called as Vita Shoka Bhavati. So this is मोटे तौर पर श्लोक के आधार पर. अब गंभीरता से with the help of भाष्य. So, samane vrukshe. Vrukshe means sharire. Very clear? Purushaha. Who is Purushaha? Bhokta. That is you and I. The general understanding about this Bhokta, Jiva, you and I, Purusha, as per the observation and understanding by our masters is, this Purusha is avidya, kama, karma, phala, raga, adi, guru, bhara, akrantaha. So, these are the heavy loads he is carrying. Then alavuriva samudra jale nimagna. It is like a heavily loaded truck without the driver on the road going. That is our example. Here example given is a heavily loaded alabu, the ship, without the rider, it in the ocean. Good example, na? Ocean, a ship, heavily loaded, nobody to drive it. what will happen to it? Up and down, down and up, down. The driver, as per our Vedantic Upanishadic Shastras, Gita Adi, is our own buddhi with jnanam. So buddhi hona hai, uspe jnana hona chahiye. Like the driver should be there and he should know how to negotiate this ship with such a heavy load, not to drown in the ocean, but to slowly sail through smoothly and reach to the shores. So, to that heavy loaded lorry, there should be a driver who should know all the arts of driving that heavy loaded lorry without hitting anywhere, without the losing of control of its speed. And some heavy loaded lorries, you see, no, वो घाट रोड में जाने पड़ते हैं. वो फर्स्ट गियर में डाला फिर भी वो जाता नहीं, इतना हाइट है. नो इट इज दोज हैव सीन दैट दे नो इट. This driver has to know how from a little distance only while giving the horn etc. He'll have to slowly speed up, reducing the gear and accelerator को दबाते हुए the difficult path or patch he'll have to. As much difficult it is to take up the heavily loaded vehicle, double difficult than that it is to bring it down when the slope is there. Because while coming down such a heavy loaded lorry, by mistake अगर इसका ब्रेक फेल हो गया मानो अब रुकेगा नहीं वो. You understand? In the same way, what is you and I? A lorry which is loaded. Loaded with what? Avidya, kama, karma, phala, raga, adi, guru bhara. Heavy load. This guru bhara is heavy load. Akrantam is loaded. Is this Purusha, you and I? Just like that Alavu, the loaded lorry or the loaded ship. And the ship is in the Samudra, the lorry is in the road. Where are we? Samsara Samudra Jale Nimagna. And we, the Purusha, don't have that knowledge. पहले बुद्धि को यूज ही नहीं कर रहे हम. और उसमें luckily today the common sense thought was exhaustively that only. Don't have not awakened the buddhi nor filled it with the samagra samshaya rahita pramana yukta jnana. है ना? Yes, I have appointed a driver, but उसको है क्या लाइसेंस? लाइसेंस क्या, उसको सेंस भी नहीं है. फिर क्या कैसे दिया उसको गाड़ी चलाने को? बिकॉज इज माय सन इन लॉ. अरे because of son in law he should not give. He should give because he is a driver. There is a license to him. अब दे दिया तो ठोक देगा वो. And the son-in-law in our life is our own mind and senses. हमने उसको दे दिया चाबी, आ तू चला अपना जिंदगी का गाड़ी loaded with all this nonsense. And that's why हर मोड़ मोड़ पर होता है कोई ना कोई हादसा. Every moment there is a हादसा only in our life. See the explanation, na? Then samudra jale nimagnaha. And what is the meaning of Guru Bharakrantah Samsara Samudra Jale Nischayena Magnaha? Nimagna means Nischayena. What is the Magnata? What is the drowning of you and I Jiva? It is said here. Ki Deha Atma Bhavam Apanna. That's it. The Sharira alone is Atman. In that is me. In that so much we are drowned. That as we exhaustively saw yesterday for 15-20 minutes, that all our thinkings, actions, all through the day, all through the week, all through the life is only Deha Adharita. Even when you go to satsang, Deha Adharita, I should get a very comfortable chair. नहीं है तो फिर हिलते रहते हैं. मंदिर गए देहा आधारित. Even in the Adhyatmika Vishayas. Actually, in a minute's time, find that asana proper. Asana means the way of sitting. Go beyond the Sharira, reach to the Manasthiti, and into the Mana or Buddhi, all that teachings of the Guru should enter. Sharir ko bhul hi jana chahiye. But whole, even in Satsang Deha, then what to talk about the otherwise life? That's what it says, Nimagnaha Nischayena Dehatma Bhavam Apanna. Examples were given yesterday. Then, with this Dehatma Bhava, how his way of thinking, way of decisions, way of actions, way of emotions, way of responses, relations with the other beings around, all of that is explained so beautifully for one para. We touched it yesterday, but once more we are going through. First, ayameva aham. Okay, ayameva aham. Ayam means this. This alone I am me. Means I am this Sharira and this individuality, this doctor or lawyer or engineer, etc. etc. Ayameva aham. Something beyond is never even understood or heard at all. Then Amushya Putraha, see he is my father, I am his son. Then Asya Napta, of him I am the grandson. Then see Krushaha, I have become thin. Sthulaha, I have become fat. Then Gunavan, with all these gunas, either of Sharira or all other abilities, talents. Nirgunaha, or there is no great abilities, talents in me. Therefore, when there is Gunavan, Sukhi. Today things are very nice, I'm happy. Or Dukhi. Today things are absolutely disturbing. Therefore, I am Dukhi. Iti evam pratyaha. Pratyaya means thoughts, concepts. In his mind, these are the thoughts and concepts about himself, all based on Dehatma Bhava Mapanna. That's called Nimagnata. Then further what? Very interesting. Iti evam pratyaha na anyaha asti asmad iti. Again, he is not even thinking, not listening to anyone, that other than this, deha, something else is there and I am that. Na anyaha ataha asti iti. Then jayate, see I am born. Mriyate, I am going to die. Then sambandhi bandhavaihi sayujyate. With all the friends and all, establish relations and goes through having all interactions. This is called as nimagnaha, one word. है ना? समाने वृक्षे वृक्ष explained. Purusha Purusha explained. Nimagnaha Nimagnaha explained. Samane vrukshe Purushaha Nimagnaha. Every word explained. We have to have repeated study and patience to grasp it. Now, what is the Anishaya? What is Shochati? What is Mukhyamanaha? These words Bhagavan is explaining. Let us listen carefully. What is Anisha? He says, Ataha Anishaya. Anisha, for our simple understanding, first is Asamartha, incapable. Anisha. So many things for which we feel the Anishatva in us. Few samples he is giving. What is that? Anishaya means Na kasyachit samartaha aham. I am incapable of everything and anything. He does something but he fails it, then he says that मैं समर्थ नहीं हूं. Actually, he is Sarva Samartha Paramatma Tattva. But he is now identifying the Upadhis. Upadhis are not Sarva Samartha Tattva. Therefore, he feels he is Na Kaschachit Samartoham. I am not capable of this or that. Actually, I am so much capable that I need not have the desire for this thing only for which I am struggling. उसके बिना भी सुखी रहने वाला समर्थ व्यक्ति में उपाधि तादाद में से डिजायर्स को बनाकर desires are so big, abilities are so small, and naturally with small abilities higher desires cannot be fulfilled. Naturally asamartha, isn't it? Nasamartha. Now you see last 4 or 5 days our prime minister's face. I was observing in every of his meetings. In a frowning face, a drowned face, dukhi face. There is no joy at all. Because he is feeling so much inside of that asamartata, that how the terrorist attacked and taken 28 lives. And the worry and anxiety as to how to respond. Because like the wolves, more than the outsiders, the insiders are watching what response he does for it, so that for next election they can raise all these things. No, he cannot wage the war with all the capacities because it's international issue. More than that, India is such country, you can't kill the people just like that. We are all ahimsavadins. At the same time, we have to control the terrorists. You can see on his face. Therefore, one after other meetings, deliberations, negotiations with all our people going on happening. Then you have to plan, and then he is trying to see that in the history, his tenure should not be marked with black spot by because of wrong decisions. Therefore, instead of waging the war, the other proxy wars is doing. What do you call proxy war or whatever? So पहले पानी को रोक दिया, अभी बॉर्डर को रोक दिया, फिर वो इन टेक्नोलॉजी को जैम कर दिए. Isn't it? Now the exports imports are stopped. Isn't it? So he is trying the other ways to teach them the lesson. Isn't it? But that won't work because those Rakshasas will not listen. Isn't it? Therefore, in a targeted way, we'll have to eliminate them. First elimination is those four fellows, where are they? They are being traced. Then from where they are sent, whose support they have come from. All सब will be intelligence का नए का काम है वो 2 महीने 1 महीने का पता चलेगा. But all in all, अनिशया in the face होता है भाई, because everybody भगवान तो पाठ तो सिखाते हैं ना. Nobody is सर्व समर्थ for like परमात्मा. चूक तो होती रहती है. माँ ईश्वर है, माया है, अनंत जगत है. व्यष्टि समष्टि प्रारब्ध सार है. His whole Pakistan's prarabdha is there in this terror attack. That all other countries will start hating it more now. Nobody will support them. Except the equally nonsense terrorist countries. So here the anishatva. Na kasyachit samartoham. You know that na kasyachit samartoham feeling which is there in you and I is unbearable. That is why the best of the jokes also are there in TV. We can't laugh. And we join the laughing clubs. There our laughter is so pathetic and miserable. जबरदस्ती इतना हंस के दम घुट के मर रहे. आई हैव सीन मेनी ऑफ द लाफ्टर क्लब्स. क्लब चाहिए लाफ करने के लिए. कितना लोडेड है जिंदगी कि इसको पैसे दे के क्लब में ज्वाइन होके हंस के आना है. कृष्णा वासुदेवा. So the Nakasyachit Samartham is all. I cannot do exercise. I cannot make my body healthy. I cannot control my diet. Therefore, I can't control my sugar and BP. I cannot control my anger. Therefore, I cannot have good relation with the people around me. I cannot control my the lust, my greed for the money. I can't control my greed for the power. देखो अनिशया. He can't control himself and he can't control the situations, the people around. असमर्थः न कस्यचित् समर्थो. एंड डिसीज नहीं रोक सकता हूँ, वो आ गया उसको ठीक नहीं कर सकता हूँ. How many times the parents suffer at home because Anisha, I'm not able to train that child. He's not listening to me. Now I understand how much I have troubled my parents. If he's a boss in the office, asamartoham, these fellows, I'm not able to make them achieve the targets. If he is the subordinate, he is I'm समर्थ नहीं हूँ, मेरे बॉस मेरे से कभी खुश नहीं होते. He is having his own dukha. And anishaya, we cannot avoid or avert the prakritika vinashas, manushakrita vinashas, anisha. अभी हाउ टू टीच दिस राक्षसास. अरे भाई जो कर रहे तो गलत है रे बाबा, ये सृष्टि के विरोध है. मारना थोड़ी होता है किसी को. अनीशा. And there people are growing because of the one policy of give birth to dozens children. Nobody is able to do anything. Even the whole Christianity also afraid now. तो उनकी संख्या कम हो रही है, बढ़ रही. I'm just telling how at the individual level, group level, national level, all of us, international level, global level, Anisha. That the warming is going on, the Pacific Samudra has got some change. वो नाम जो भी देते हैं उसके कारण the seasons are changing. Summer में बारिश हो रही है, थर्ड desert में बारिश हो रही है. Then the forests are burning. Asteroids are trying to collide with our globe or the earth. Anish, आप क्या करोगे? Your James telescope will send that huge number of asteroids are coming to hit your earth. It's वो दे रहा है, अभी डर रहे. Don't worry, अभी नहीं हो, 1000 साल के बाद तब तक 20 जन्म हमारे हो जाएंगे. I'm just telling what is the meaning of Anishaya. न कस्यचित् समर्थोहम. And some of the examples he gives. What are they? कि पुत्रो मम नष्टः. Putro mama nashta means my child has failed in exams, did not get his job, or married but got divorced. All these things, mama putraha nashtaha. Or he is not listening to me, or he left me and gone away. He has become disobedient. How many houses, though they smile outside, pathetically they suffer inside. सबके पता है, देखते ही पता चलता है कौन किस कारण से. ये है पुत्रो मम नष्ट है, is this, or even died, some of them. Second one is mruta me bharya, the wife died. How many people? You know, when the wife dies, husband is naraka, because while she was alive, she was the only one to take care. Children never care the man. If husband dies, wife at least children love her. Society some help होता है women के लिए बेचार. Man के लिए हो ही नहीं, इसलिए वो example दिया. मृता में भार्या, the only support. How he becomes lonely without wife and all. He can't explain outside express because of that manly ego. I'm just telling what is happening in the world with the people. Mruta mein bharya. I know that she used to give tea, coffee, चाय, खाना समय पे ऑर्डर करते ही किचन से सप्लाई होता था. कपड़े धुलाए होकर इस्त्री होते थे, सारी चीजें तैयार. Everything, nothing. You just shout at her, she comes. Now, to such person, Mruta mein bharya, see that dukha. अनीशा, व्हाट ही कैन डू नो. ये शोचती के एग्जाम्पल है सारे. देन किम में जीवित है ना, फाइनली अब जी के क्या करे जब दिल ही टूट गया वाला टाइप. किम में जीवित है ना, अब व्हाट इज द मीनिंग फॉर मी टू लिव लाइफ. है ना, हाउ मेनी पीपल आर फीलिंग दैट सेंस ऑफ सुइसाइड, कांट लिव एट ऑल, मिजरेबल, sleepless nights, and then the food is not digested, not eaten, can't talk to anyone in that loneliness. Millions and millions, Baba. That subtle world of the human beings, so pathetic. One reason is the values are lost, the devotions are lost, the mutual help, etc., is gone, the excessive greeds and desires, etc. सारे हैं ये कारण. In this way, he says, किम में जीवितेन. So, पुत्रो मम नष्टः, मृता में भार्या, किम में जीवितेन. Examples he is giving. You add all other things. All of that dehosmi bhavana se. In pure Brahman, these are not there. Brahman is one without second, subtle thing. On the ये सब नाटक है, तो projected है. The one who gets established in that Brahma Jnanam, for him all this is a play. So then, iti evam dina bhavaha anisha. So what is anisha is asamarthata. Because of asamarthata, he could not achieve what he had to achieve. He could not stop the inevitables, for which some examples are given. Therefore, that asamarthata, finally, dina bhavaha. Iti evam dina bhavaha anisha. The dina bhava is the helplessness. Deenata. Kripanata, the other language is called as the dina bhava, the inyasthiti. That's called as anisha. Taya anishaya shochat. With that dina bhava, with that asamarthata, expressed in all these few examples, shochati. What is the shochati? Samtapyate, samyak tapyate. As we said now, that misery inside. He can't even express outside through the tears. किसी के गोदी में सर लगा के रो नहीं सकता, किसी के कंधे पे सर न लगा लो, because that fellow is equally miserable. He can't say my son failed to other fellow because his son also failed, isn't it? They have such a thing. किसके गोदी में कौन सो जाए रोने के लिए. That is called as दीन भावमापन्नः. See, शोचति संतप्यते, सम्यक ताप. Then Muhyamanaha. What is the meaning of next word? Muhyamanaha. Tomorrow we'll exhaustively talk about it. Anekaihi anartha prakaraihi Muhyamana. Prakara means ways and means of life. Aneka means very many. Anartha means which are only givers of destruction. So destruction giving various of things by involving in them. And why all that he does? Avivekataya. He is not pausing, he is not thinking. He is not taking correct guidance from other elders. So avivekataya aneka anartha prakaraihi muhyamanaha. And all of that is vichitratam apadyamana. Very interesting what it is. Vichitratam apadyamana finds himself in such situations which are at once wonderful, wondering as well as miserable. It's not wonder in the positive sense. आश्चर्यचकित साथ में दुख युक्त. मतलब अरे यार देखते देखते मैं यहाँ कैसे फंस गया. That is called as vichitratam apadyamana. People think they remember all their glorious past and they remember मैं यहाँ कहाँ से that लड़की शादी होके. She enters the house of devils there. Suddenly she feels, yeah, actually wonderfully I was with my parents, my brother, sister, laughing, giggling with my friends and all. कहाँ आकर मैं फंस गई हूँ विचित्र माध्यम. In other case, the whole family feels, अरे बहू बहू इतने पढ़े लिखी है यार, रईस घर की आई है करके शादी कराया. She is the Rakshasi only. ये कहाँ से आ गई? They too have the problem. I'm giving an examples. So too, everywhere the servant, you give the job to servant. Then you Vichitrata, what a servant I have now. His fellow is so lazy, never responds, never does the work properly. This is the meaning of Vichitratam Apadam. And the servant also. Are yaar, मैं पेट के वास्ते इधर आया हूँ. What these Rakshasas? So much dominating, so much hurting my ego, not giving me even proper food also. He also suffers. No freedom at all, little bit also. That is the meaning of Vichitratam Apadyamana. Everybody, just scan कर पाए ना लोगों के दिल का जो गुजरना हो रहा है दुख क्या मेरे से गुजर रही है बोलते ना हिंदी में. Very, very painful. So in this way, Samane, Vriksha, and all that is starting from Dehosmi, Jivosmi. When we go to Brahmasmi, all that is gone, and only in the Brahmanubhuti, all the nonsense goes away. Please remember, trying for that Brahmanubhuti is not an escapism, it's a solution. Everything else is changing a problem, there's no solution. एक problem से दूसरा problem. That's it. Not that the problems end by any means. Like I die committing suicide because I couldn't manage my life. It's only change of problem because another body will be given to me with the same set of things which are unfulfilled or uncompleted, incomplete. Therefore, studying all that, let us realize that the final permanent solution for all the problems is the Upanishad Ukta Brahmanabhuti. Let it take 1,000 lives, but let us work towards it. Because the final solution. The struggle of the Upanishad Rishis is to bring this aspect only into our notice and conviction that without the Tattva Jnana, Atma Jnana, there is no moksha. Now to understand all it, how much struggle you and I also are going through by studying every day, every day. Now we have done 1% only. When we come to the 30-40%, which may take some more decades or years, that we can confidently say that now we are a little matured with our understanding as to what is bandhana, what is moksha, what to do. And then to be on the path and establish in being on the path, again it will take some time because so many inner and outer obstacles come. After that only, there can be a sigh of relaxation. Like in Puja Gurudev's life, his study, his education, then suddenly the country, the patriotism, the freedom struggle. He went through all of that. Then he entered to that Rishikesh, there the Mahatma, Shivanandji, and also Madhavan Maharaj learned from them, got Diksha, did all his yatras, meditation, got the experience, samstha is started. Till all of that, he is agitated only. In a way, for our observation. Once he established in Anubhuti, established in what he wanted to achieve through the samstha, then laughing and giggling and playing the play. I'm just giving an example. For us also, after all that is done only, we can feel a sigh of relief. कितने चीजों का हमको the samagrata of the jnana. Through the jnana, we are avoiding the problems. Through the jnana, we are going towards the permanent solution. And while being on to the permanent solution path, we are established into a substantial level. Then we can just relaxedly drive the remaining distance and reach out. May it happen to all of us, particularly to you and I who are regular. Om, 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 Om. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो परमशिभ्यो परब्रह्मणे नमः श्रुति मात्रे नमः तत्सत् ब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु. Thank you, friends. Come to Gita.